17-0. Not a single loss, not a single slip. Ilia Topuria has walked through the UFC like a man-fulfilling prophecy, knocking out legends who were supposed to be untouchable, and doing it exactly when he said he would. He doesn't just win, he tells you how, then makes it look easy. This is the story of the most dominant undefeated fighter in mixed martial arts today, and why his rise feels less like competition and more like inevitability. Born in Germany to Georgian refugees fleeing war in Abkhazia, Topuria's early life was shaped by displacement and resilience. At 7, his family moved to Georgia, where he started wrestling. Then came another move, this time to Alicante, Spain, at 15, following the Russo-Georgian War. Most teenagers would crumble under that kind of instability. Topuria found a gym, started training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and discovered something inside himself that wouldn't bend. By 2015, he was fighting professionally. By 2024, he was making history. February 17, 2024, UFC 298. Topuria stepped into the octagon to face Alexander Volkanovski, one of the greatest featherweights ever to compete. Volkanovski had defended his title 4 times. He was technical, durable, and seemed almost impossible to finish. The first round played out cautiously. Volkanovski found his rhythm, testing range and timing. Topuria stayed patient, picking his moments with surgical precision. He wasn't rushing, he was studying. Then came round 2. Topuria backed Volkanovski against the cage and unleashed a combination that shut the lights off. The 145-pound king crumpled. Had to reckon with a name they'd been sleeping on. Topuria didn't just win. He made it look inevitable, like the result was written before the bell even rang. But one knockout doesn't define dominance, defending the title does. And Topuria's first defense came against someone even more legendary. Max Holloway had never been knocked out, not once, not even knocked down in his entire UFC career. The man had absorbed punishment from the best strikers in the division and kept coming forward like a machine built to outlast everyone. Volume, durability, and relentless pressure defined him. Heading into UFC 308 on October 26, 2024, people wondered if Topuria's power would even matter against someone who'd eaten everything the division had to offer. Round 3 answered that question permanently. Topuria stunned Holloway with a straight right hand. Holloway tried to circle away, but Topuria stalked him down with the focus of a predator who'd already decided how this ends. A left hook dropped the Hawaiian, and ground and pound strikes followed. The referee stopped it. Ilia Topuria had done what no one else could. He became the first fighter to knock out Max Holloway, cementing his reputation as a finisher with power that doesn't just hurt, it erases. 2 of the division's greatest names, 2 knockouts, both exactly as predicted. You've probably noticed the pattern by now. Topuria doesn't just fight, he forecasts. He tells you what's going to happen, then makes it real. Sound familiar? It should. There's only one other fighter who built a legacy on this kind of confidence. Conor McGregor turned prediction into spectacle, calling his finishes with theatrical precision and delivering every single time during his rise. Topuria carries that same energy, but with a colder edge. Less showmanship, more certainty. When he speaks, it doesn't feel like hype. It feels like he's reading on the future out loud. And then came the move that shocked everyone. Instead of continuing to defend his featherweight title, Topuria announced he was vacating it. UFC President Dana White explained the decision, citing weight-cutting difficulties, lack of interest in the remaining competition, and a desire to move up to lightweight permanently. Critics called it risky. History called it ambitious. Topuria called it destiny. On June 28, 2025, at UFC 317, Topuria faced Charles Oliveira for the vacant UFC lightweight championship. Oliveira wasn't just any opponent, he was a former champion, a submission specialist with over 30 finishes to his name and one of the most dangerous fighters on the ground in UFC history. This was supposed to be the test that exposed Topuria. Moving up in weight against a larger, more experienced champion, the odds felt different this time. Topuria didn't care about odds. The night before the fight, he celebrated. While Oliveira prepared, Topuria was out with friends, supremely confident, telling anyone who would listen that he'd knock Oliveira out in the first round. Some thought it was arrogance, others thought it was reckless. Topuria thought it was fact. 2 minutes and 27 seconds into round 1, Charles Oliveira was unconscious. Topuria became the 10th multi-division champion in UFC history and the first to ever capture 2 titles in different weight classes while remaining undefeated. Nobody had done that before, not McGregor, not Daniel Cormier, not anyone. The performance earned him another Performance of the Night award, a promotion to #1 in the pound-for-pound rankings, and $3.5 million, his biggest payday yet. But rankings shift. Islam Makhachev reclaimed the top spot after capturing securing the welterweight title in November 2025, pushing Topuria to number 2, still undefeated, still untouched, still inevitable. So what makes him this dominant? It's not just power, though. He has plenty. It's not just technique, though his boxing is razor sharp. It's something deeper, something harder to quantify. When you watch Topuria fight, you're watching someone who's removed doubt from the equation. He doesn't hope to win. He knows he will. That kind of certainty changes everything. It dictates pace, controls distance, and breaks opponents mentally before the first punch even lands. His next challenge is scheduled for June 14, 2026, against interim champion Justin Gaethje at UFC Freedom 250. Another test, another prediction waiting to be made. And if history tells us anything, another finish waiting to happen exactly as promised. Gaethje isn't just another opponent. He's chaos incarnate, a fighter who thrives in violence, who turns technique into warfare, who's made a career out of breaking the unbreakable. He's knocked out legends, survived wars that would end careers. His style is simple: relentless, forward pressure, devastating leg kicks, and power in both hands that can shut off lights instantly. On paper, it's a nightmare matchup for anyone, but Topuria doesn't deal in paper. He deals in reality, and his reality has never included losing. Think about what Gaethje brings to this fight: experience at the highest level, championship pedigree, a granite chin that's absorbed bombs from Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, and Charles Oliveira without breaking. He's been in 5-round wars that tested every dimension of toughness. He knows what it takes to survive when the script falls apart. That kind of veteran presence is supposed to matter against younger, less tested champions. But here's the uncomfortable truth for Gaethje. Topuria has never needed 5 rounds. He's never had to dig deep because he finishes fights before that moment arrives. 7 knockouts, 8 submissions. 17 wins without a single loss. The pattern isn't just consistent, it's suffocating. What separates Topuria from other dominant champions is the surgical precision behind the violence. Watch his knockouts closely. They're not wild haymakers or desperate explosions. They're calculated sequences set up through footwork, feints, and cage positioning that trap opponents exactly where he wants them. Against Volkanovski, he cut off every escape route until the champion had nowhere to go. Against Holloway, he stayed patient through 2 rounds of volume, waiting for the exact moment to unleash the combination that made history. Against Oliveira, he didn't even need 2 rounds. He walked forward with zero fear of the ground game, knowing his power would end things before grappling ever became relevant. That's the difference. Most fighters respect their opponent's strengths and adjust accordingly. Topuria respects nothing. He walks through danger like it doesn't exist because in his mind, it doesn't. When you believe you're destined to win, tactics become secondary. Confidence becomes the strategies. It stops being arrogance and starts being prophecy. Let's address the elephant in the room. The comparisons to Conor McGregor aren't accidental. Both fighters built mystiques around prediction. Both turned press conferences into psychological warfare. Both made opponents doubt themselves before entering the octagon. But there's a crucial distinction. McGregor's predictions felt theatrical, designed for spectacle and pay-per-view buys. Topuria's predictions feel inevitable, like he's simply stating facts that haven't materialized yet. McGregor sold you the dream. Topuria just shows you the outcome. And unlike McGregor, Topuria hasn't stumbled. Conor's aura cracked after losses to Nate Diaz, and Khabib Nurmagomedov exposed vulnerabilities in his game. The mystique faded when reality intruded. Topuria hasn't given reality that chance. 17 fights, 0 defeats, 0 moments where the narrative shifted, 0 cracks in the armor. That's what makes him different. He's building the legend McGregor started but never completed. His fighting style explains why the undefeated streak feels sustainable. Topuria isn't one-dimensional. He started as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, securing submissions with technical precision that forced opponents to respect his ground game. Then he dedicated himself to boxing, studying Mexican styles, particularly Canelo Alvarez, and adapting defensive techniques like the shoulder roll into mixed martial arts. His training partner, Merab Dvalishvili, praised both his grappling and striking, admitting Topuria dropped him twice with body shots during sparring. When a UFC champion admits another fighter hits that hard in practice, it's not exaggeration, it's a warning. That versatility creates an impossible puzzle for opponents. Respect the knockout power, and you leave yourself open to takedowns. Worry about submissions, and you walk into combinations that end your night. There's no safe approach, no game plan that eliminates all threats. Topuria forces you to choose which way you want to lose, then capitalizes on whichever option you didn't prepare for. Against Gaethje, that dynamic becomes even more pronounced. Gaethje's entire identity is built on standing and trading. He wants violence. He needs chaos. But what happens when the chaos is controlled? What happens when the violence is deliberate, calculated, and backed by skills that extend beyond brawling? Here's what nobody wants to say out loud. Gaethje might be walking into the same trap everyone else did. The belief that experience, toughness, and heart can overcome pure skill. It's a beautiful idea. It's also wrong. Topuria doesn't care how many wars you've survived. He's not interested in your resume. He's focused on the version of you standing across from him right now, and that version has never faced anyone like him. Nobody has. The confidence isn't manufactured. It's earned through 17 fights where reality aligned perfectly with prediction. When Topuria says he'll answer one question, can Gaethje break the pattern? Can experience and chaos disrupt certainty? Or will Topuria add another chapter to a story that's starting to feel mythical? Based on everything we've seen, the answer feels obvious. But that's the thing about Topuria. Even when you know what's coming, even when he tells you exactly what he's going to do, you still can't stop it. That's not just dominance. That's inevitability. And the scariest part, he's only 29 years old. This isn't the end of the story. It's barely the beginning. 17 wins, 0 losses, 2 divisions conquered. Legends knocked unconscious exactly when promised. Ilia Topuria isn't chasing greatness anymore. He's redefining what dominance looks like. While others talk about legacy, he's writing it one prediction at a time, one knockout at a time, one impossible feat at a time. The question isn't whether he'll keep winning. It's how long until everyone else realizes they're not competing against a fighter. They're standing across from destiny.